Hi friends, welcome to my YouTube channel, Sam Simplification. Today we'll be discussing about quadratic equation. Quadratic equation are second degree equations. Quadratic equation, they are second degree equation. You have to take note of that. And this equation in which the highest power, this is the equation in which the highest power of the unknown is 2. The highest power of the unknown in quadratic equation is 2. A good example of that, e.g., can have 3x squared plus 10x minus 8 equals 0. You can have that as well. We can have this k squared plus 8k minus 8 equals 0. So what you should know here is that the highest power of the unknown here is x, and the power of the unknown here is 2. As well, the other one, k squared, the unknown here is k, and the power as well is 2. So when you have that, we call it a quadratic equation because the highest power of the unknown there is 2. And as well, we have just one unknown, which is x. So, okay, now we have the method that we can use to resolve our quadratic equations. We have the method of solving quadratic equation. The first method is factorization. The first one is what we call factorization method. Factorization, that's the first method that we can use to solve a quadratic equation. As well, we have the second method, completing the square. So we can have completing the square. That's the second method that we can use. As well, we have the third one, which we call, let me rub this board. The third one, we have a quadratic formula. Number 3, we have a quadratic formula. That's the third method. As well, the fourth method is that's graphical. So we can use a graphical method to resolve a quadratic equation. So we have the first one, factorization. We have the second one, completing the square. We have the third one, quadratic formula. And we have the fourth one, graphical method. So let's consider the first one, which we call a factorization method. So that's the major thing we'll be considering today, factorization method. So let me write it here. Factorization method. So that is what we'll be considering today. So let's take question. Let's pick question and let's solve. So the first one, we have to solve the equation. Solve the equation 3x squared. So 3x squared minus 10x minus 8 equals 0. So this is the first question we want to solve today. 3x squared minus 10x minus 8 equals 0. So that's the first question we want to solve today. So basically, we need to consider two things. So the first one is that we consider this minus 10x, and as well we'll consider the first number multiplied by the last number. So these are the things we need to consider here. So now we ask ourselves two numbers that when are being added together, it will give us the one at the middle. So let's use box plus box equals minus 10x. We have minus 10x at the middle. So when we add them together, two numbers that when you add them together, you'll be getting minus 10x. As well, that same number, when you multiply them together, that same number, when you multiply them together, you'll be getting minus 24x squared. Minus 24x squared. Okay, let me write it here. Minus 24x squared. So that same number, if you multiply them together, you'll be getting minus 24x squared. So if you look at it critically, you agree with me that the two numbers that we can use is minus 12 and plus 2. Minus 12 plus 2. So let's just look at it. Minus 12 minus 12x. Don't forget we have x here. So minus 12x plus 2x. That will give us minus 10x, which is the first one. So it means we are good with the first one. And as well, minus 12x multiplied by 2x, we'll be getting minus 24x squared. So which means minus 12x and plus 2x, they are good for that equation. So quickly, let's go back to the equation. So we have 3x squared minus 10x minus 8 equals 0. So we said minus 12x and as well plus 2x. So instead of writing this 10x, I'll just change that and I'll write 3x squared. Don't forget we have new number that we are to use now. We have the new number which we call the first one minus 12x. The second one plus 2x minus 8 equals 0. So we have our number now. So if you look at these two numbers, minus 12x plus 2x, you'll be getting minus 10x. So quickly, let's group those numbers. So here now, common element here, 3 is common here as well. 3 is also common in 12. X is here, so we can have 3x. So if you factorize 3x from 3x squared, we have x left. Minus, if we factorize 3x from 12x squared, we'll be having 4 left there. We'll be having 4. Don't forget, when you expand back, you get the previous line. Now here from this line here, 3x multiplied by x here, we have 3x squared, and 3x again multiplied by minus 4, we'll be having minus 12x. Don't forget that we are good with that. So the next thing now is to consider the second part. Now what's common here? 2 is common here. So if you factorize 2 from here, what we have left here, we have x left here. If you factorize 2 from here, we'll be having minus 4 as well, equals 0. Okay, let me just take it. Come in. So let me take it. Okay. So minus 4 equals 0. Good. So if you observe the two brackets, they are the same thing, which is x minus 4. So x minus 4. So from here now, we can have 3x plus 2 equals 0, which is the first one. And so far the two brackets, so far they are the same thing. We just pick one there. So we can just pick x minus 4 equals 0. So we have the first one, 3x plus 2 equals 0, and x minus 4 equals 0. Okay, good. So let me take it out and start again. So 3x 3x plus 2 equals 0. And we have the next one, x minus 4 equals 0. So from this here, from this first one, we can have 3x equals minus 2. Just take this 2 to this side. We have that to be minus 2. Then we can divide both sides by 3 and here by 3. So that 3 will cancel 3 here. 3 will cancel 3 here. And we'll be having x equals minus 2 over 3. That's the first one. X equals minus 2 over 3. And for the second one, we'll just take minus 4 to this side. And that will be x equals 4. X equals 4. So for the first one, we said x equals minus 2 over 3. And as well for the second one, we said x equals 4. Don't forget that we are solving quadratic equation with factorization method. So we've been able to solve the first question. So now let's go and solve the next question quickly. So for the second question, we'll be having x squared plus 5x plus 6 equals 0. X squared plus 5x plus 6 equals 0. Before I proceed with the solution of this question, please kindly subscribe to this channel, Sam Simplification, for more mathematical question insights. So let's proceed with this question. So we said x squared plus 5x plus 6 equals 0. Don't forget that we said two numbers that when you add them together, you get 5x. And that same two numbers, when you multiply them together, you'll be getting 6x squared. So let me use my box. So I said box plus box equals 5x, which is the one at the middle, and the next one, box multiplied by box equals 6x squared. Don't forget, you'll be multiplying the first one here. You know we have 1 here, and as well you multiply it with 6. So that's how we got our 6x squared. So two numbers that when you add them together, you'll be getting 5x. That same number, if you multiply them together, you'll be getting 6x squared. Don't forget that. So quickly, let's proceed with that. So let me just rub the board. So two numbers. So we have x squared plus 5x plus 6 equals 0. So the two numbers, when you add them together, you get 5x, and when you multiply them together, you get 6x squared. So obviously, those numbers, or the number we have to use, is just 3 and 2. So here, because 3 multiplied by 2 is 6. So if you should write 3x, so 3x multiplied by 2x, you will get 6x squared, and 3x plus 2x, you will get 5x. So which means 3x and 2x, they are perfect for what for this equation we want to solve. So quickly, let me just take it back so that we can just we can proceed. Okay. Okay, let me proceed now. So from here, so we'll be having x squared. Don't forget, instead of writing 5x now, I'll be saying x squared plus 3x plus 2x plus 6 equals 0. So instead of saying plus 5x, we now said 3x plus 2x, because 3x plus 2x as well will give us 5x. So let's group them quickly. If you are grouping, the sign will be at the middle. You can see my positive sign is at the middle. So the sign will be at the middle. So from here, let's factorize. We have x here and we have x here. So factorize it out. So let's have x. So what do we have left? We'll be having x plus 3 in that first bracket. So plus the next bracket, what do we have in common? We have 2 in common, so we can factorize the 2 out. So what do we have next here? We have x here, and we factorize 3 here from 6 here. 2 here from 6, we'll be having 3 equals 0. Okay, come in. So equals 0. So like I said, the 2 brackets must be the same thing. So far they are the same thing. We'll just pick one there. So we can have x plus 2 equals 0, which is the first one, and as well x plus 3 equals 0. So x plus 2 equals 0 and x plus 3 equals 0. Don't forget, we want to get the final answer. So we said x plus 2 equals 0 and x plus 3 equals 0. So from x plus 2 equals 0, just take your 2 to this side. So that will be x equals minus 2. And as well, we'll take our 3 to this side. So that will give us x equals, come in please. So that will give us x equals minus 3. So the first one, x equals minus 2, and as well, x equals minus 3. Don't forget that we are solving quadratic equation using factorization method. Firstly, we've been able to state what we have to consider before solving, and we said the first one, you have to consider the number at the middle. As well, you have to consider the first coefficient multiplied by the last one. So having said that, you'll be able to use that to solve your question, and you'll be getting your final answer. Okay, let's quickly recap. We said 3x squared minus 10x minus 8 equals 0. So 3x squared minus 10x minus 8 equals 0. Don't forget, we said you have to consider this one at the middle. You ask yourself two numbers that when you add them together, you'll be getting minus 10x. And when you multiply that same two numbers together, you'll be getting 3 multiplied by 8, which is minus 24. So that was the reason I used box. I said box plus box equals the one at the middle, which is minus 10x. And as well, that same number, which is box, multiplied by box, will give you minus 24x squared. Minus 24x squared. So that two numbers, when you add them together, you get minus 10x. And that same number, when you multiply them together, you'll be getting minus 24x. So that's the first thing you must know, so that you'll be able to solve a quadratic equation using factorization method. You consider these things, that same numbers, when you multiply them together and when you add them together. Is that taken? Okay, so this question we are solving is called a quadratic equation, because here we can see that the unknown here is x, and the degree of the unknown here is 2. The degree of the unknown there is 2. So basically, we'll say this is a quadratic equation. This is the quadratic equation. As well, we still have other method that we can use to solve a quadratic equation. We have completing the square method, we have quadratic formula, and we have our graphical method. But what we are only considering now is what we call a method using factorization or factorization method. So this is what we are considering, which is called factorization method. So before I proceed, don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel to get more insight in mathematics. Okay, quickly, let's see if we can solve one more question. Let's solve one more question. Okay, we have another question here. 2x squared minus 7x plus 3 equals 0. Plus 3 equals 0. So 2x squared minus 7x plus 3 equals 0. If you agree with me, we agree together that this is a quadratic equation, right? Is a quadratic equation because here the unknown here is x, and as well the degree of the unknown is 2. So due to that, we can say this is a quadratic equation and we want to solve so as to be able to get the value of x. So from here now, we'll think of two numbers that when we add them together, we'll be getting minus 7x, and that same number, if we multiply them together, we'll be getting 6x squared, which is 2 multiplied by 3, that's 6, so 6x squared. So two numbers, when we add them together, we will get minus 7x, and that same number, when we multiply them together, we'll be getting 6x squared. So if you agree with me, that number easily is going to be 6 and 1. 6 and 1. So 6, so it will be 6 minus 6x and minus x. So minus 6x and minus x. So these are the numbers that we'll be using. So here, quickly now, so equals 0, sorry. So I'll just write 2x squared. So instead of writing minus 7, I'll be writing minus 6x minus x plus 3 equals 0. So let's just group them. Don't forget that while grouping, your middle sign should be there. Your middle sign, which is the subtraction here. So from here now, from this first bracket, we have 2 is common to both sides, as well x is common, so I can have 2x here. Now if factorize 2x from 2x squared, you'll be having x. Don't forget that when you multiply back, you must get the other one where it was factorized from. So 2x multiplied by x, that will give us 2x squared, so minus. So if you factorize 2x from 6x, that will give us 3. That will give us 3 minus. Okay, now what's common between these two here? We'll say 1. Yeah, 1 is common, so we just take 1 out. So if you take 1 from x, you still have x, and if you take 1 from this positive 3, this plus 3, we still have a negative 3, and equals 0. Now the reason why we say negative 3 here is because when you expand back, you should get where it came from. So minus 1 here multiplied by minus 3 here, that will give us plus 3 that we have here. So minus 1 multiplied by minus 3 to give us plus 3. So you can see that the two brackets are the same thing. So which means that we have the first one, 2x minus 1 equals 0. And the second one, x minus 3 equals 0. So we have the first one, 2x minus 1 equals 0, as well x minus 3 equals 0. So let me take it to the next page. So we said we have 2x minus 1 equals 0, and x minus 3 equals 0. X minus 3 equals 0. So from this first part, so I can just take this minus 1 to this side. So I'll be saying 2x equals 1. So dividing both sides by 2 here by 2, and here by 2. So we having x equals 1 over 2, because from here 2 here 1, 2 here 1. So x equals 1 over 2, as well from x minus 3 equals 0. I'll just take this minus 3 to this side here. So I'll be having x equals 3. So which means x equals 1 over 2 and as well x equals 3. So we are solving the quadratic equation using factorization method. You can see it is simple, right? It is simple. So we've solved like 3 questions using a factorization method. So quickly, let me recap what I've just said. We said we need to consider the number at the middle. For instance, the one we solved last, we said 2x squared minus 7x plus 3. So we said we need to consider this one at the middle here. So you ask yourself, box plus box equals minus 7x. And as well, box multiplied by box equals, if you multiply this first one by this last one, you'll be getting 6x squared. So two numbers that when you add them together, you'll be getting minus 7x. And that same number, when you multiply them together, you'll be getting 6x squared. So, and if you look at it critically, we can only use 6 and 1. So, which we said we'll be using minus 6x minus, instead of saying minus 1x, we said minus x. So, it is minus 6 and minus 1. So, after solving, we are able to get x equals 1 over 2 and as well x equals 3. X equals 1 over 2 and as well x equals 3. So this method that we are using is called a factorization method, and as well it was those questions was brought from what we call quadratic equations. So we've been able to solve quadratic equation using factorization method. Thank you for watching. Please kindly subscribe to this YouTube channel for more mathematical question insight. Thank you for watching. God bless you.